All right, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Quirky Dorks Podcast. I'm Shane Edwards, and I'm with,
Yeah, Wilson.
and yeah, we're gonna be talking about a few things today. Uh, I guess we could give a quick introduction of who we are, and kind of how we know each other. I guess we could start it off with that. Because Fia, how long have we been know each other? What, 3 years now?
I would say about going on 3 years. Yeah, about 3 years now.
Yeah. I think we both kind of we're friends, and we both kind of connected with the similar interest of swimming and theater.
Music, yeah, music, swimming, theater, all that.
Yeah, typical stuff that people like us don't do.
I
um,
would say I feel like we kind of met more through chorus, just being in that class and everything.
yeah, definitely. Because I don't think we really had too many classes outside of that besides choir.
Yeah, that was like the only class we actually had, and like a few black people up in that class. So, and we was actually the ones. We was actually the ones with like we actually had experience with it and everything. So that's kind of how we connected and everything.
I wouldn't say I was the one that had experience.
I
Because
mean, you definitely had like musical experience, like maybe not singing, but I mean, with just theater and instruments and all that, you had experience.
right. But you've definitely you had a more choir background, and you did a lot more like on stage work.
Yeah, I
Uh,
did.
Cause you did Lion King, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that was seventh grade. Don't tell me don't ask me what year that was because I do not remember. But yeah, I did Lion King in seventh grade. Yeah, it was about the best performance I ever did.
One of the best performances.
Yeah, I love that performance.
But I've done a little bit of stuff on stage. I think up in like around that time, I did one play in seventh grade. I didn't really. It was kind of a ripoff of A Christmas Carol, but it was just with like Black history. So
hmm
they kind of like mixed together like historical figures in place of the Christmas Carol characters. I
Right.
think if I remember, I played this character, Dalen, who he didn't appreciate Black history. All right, I gotta set the tone for this, VL.
Okay, let's get it.
He didn't appreciate Black history, so he had the ghost of ancestors past greet him to teach him about Black history and why he should appreciate it. However, the more that like Dalen learned like throughout the play, it's like he kind of like I need to improve myself because I need to represent all the ancestors who've been behind me, and I'm gonna be that new person. But he goes through and does all of that, and at the end he's like, I understand Black history. But it's not like he gets like traveled around. It's all the same stage because this is in middle school, so you don't have a nice set or anything to do anything with.
Yeah, yeah.
You kind of just throw some cardboard together and say, "Oh, do you all want to do something?" Like, yeah. And then they're like, "All right, we'll have you be a part of this."
I remember in my school, we didn't, of course, we didn't have no money or nothing. So the first play that I was a part of was always the plays were always thrown in the gym room, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had like this little stage that you had to put together. It was weird, but it was a whole bunch of like little square boxes thingies, and they just connected together, and that would like make our stage. And so we would set up the background filled with like cardboard and stuff. And, we tried to make it the best, but being in the gym room, it was always an echo and everything. And but I don't know, that was always really fun.
But definitely, the thing though about it, it wasn't even like a lot of people at our school were like heavily interested in in it. It was kind of like I was like one of the few people like, yeah, I want to be in this play because
You want to know the
I
funny?
think, huh? I'm sorry.
Oh, you want to know the funny part about how I really got into theater?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so at my school, like I said, we always had plays and productions that was always thrown on, and the kids who were in the production got out of class like a few minutes early, so they could have some time to rehearse and everything. So of course, me wanting to get out of class early, I decided to say I want to be in the play too. And plus, they always made you feel like you were famous. Like as soon as you got done with the play, they would make you run off the stage and like high five the little kids. Like the little kids were always into that type of stuff.
You have
Not
that
so much,
it's that middle school
right,
competitiveness. You have to be
right.
on
Not so
top.
much the like the older class, like the eighth grade, seventh graders, but the little kids like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. They were always into that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we would like go down, go out off the stage, and like high five everyone, made it seem real cool. And yeah, and then there was this girl I liked. There was in the play, and she was always in the play. She was like 2 grades ahead of me, and so I was like,
Now I
yeah,
get it, Fiel.
yeah,
You weren't in it for the play. You were in it.
for the girl. And
I'm gonna go
so
in there
yeah,
and I'm gonna find somebody.
yeah, it was this one girl, and I think I was in fifth grade, and she may have been like in like seventh grade, but I had like a huge crush on her. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna join the play because of her, and I'm going, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to start something up. But
That
I
middle
guess
school
you would
swag.
say, yeah,
But
I guess you would say like on the day of the production, that's when it all hit me. Like, yeah, this is real. Like, you know, I was kind of into it after that, and so I never got the girl, but you know, I did get theater, so that's one. That's something.
what was the story with it, fam? Like, did was it like a date? Did you bring some cheeses and some apple juice? What happened?
No, I would just no. It was just I joined the play just so I could be closer to her, and so I fought really hard. There was I think we did Alice in Wonderland, or is that correct? I think we did Alice in Wonderland, and there was a part, and of course me being like this being my first time in the play, they wouldn't give me like the lead or anything. So I wanted to try to get a part that was like kind of close to her part, where I was always close to her, and that was the part that I had fought for, and I got that part. And just every time I was close to her, I would just go ahead and just flirt with her, and that was just the kind of thing I did. We became real close friends, and we connected through theater. I still don't think to this day that she knew that I liked her, but yeah.
Dang. See, you see that wasn't my reason. My experience was very different than that. I think you can attest to this too. When you are black and you do like swimming and theater, you gonna get some looks from the community.
Yeah, definitely. At my school, it was, you know, the only team we had, the only like sports team we had was basketball. No football, none of that, but we had basketball, and everybody was a huge basketball fan and huge basketball players. I tried out for the basketball team all the time just because I wanted to fit in. Never got on the team, but yeah, I guess I'll tell you the story how I get into swimming. We went to Wisconsin. There was me and the fam, and my dad was like driving the jet ski, and we fell off the jet ski, almost drowned. But we got back. My mom forced me to get into swimming, and this was probably about maybe second to third grade when I started. And ever since then, I just loved it, but I still felt like I didn't fit in. And then when I decided, hey, I want to go ahead and do choir, you know, and then I decided, hey, I want to go ahead and do theater.
That's
I
too many
mean, it
things.
was always those. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was always those stereotypical things where
Why aren't you playing
I wouldn't say
basketball?
bullied, That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say I was getting bullied, but they would always be like, yeah, this dude is gay. We cool with him, but we can tell he's gay. And I'm like, I'm not gay. I'm not. I joined the play because I like this girl. I'm not gay.
Have you
You
noticed
know what I'm
also
saying? So
whenever they like say that they have the people call you gay that they have to preference it by saying, oh, he cool, but it's like this a peg down. Like, come on, what?
right, it's kind of like when you hear white people say like, oh, I don't have a problem with black people because I have a black friend. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how they would do me. Like, oh, I don't have a problem with him because I have a gay friend. It's like I'm not gay though, so whatever.
It's like trying to like sugarcoat it, but it's still
Right.
offensive. It's
To
like,
try to make
oh,
it seem
thank.
like you're not homophobic. Be like, no, you're homophobic, but you're trying to hide it. It's
Oh,
like,
like,
just,
oh,
just
thank
keep it
you.
real.
He cool, but um, but I definitely like dealt with a lot of that with trying to do theater and swimming. Um, I think I got into it. You said because of your father almost drowning.
Yeah.
Which how did that happen? Where were you all when like going jet
So we were
skiing?
young, and this doesn't happen anymore. But when we were younger, we used to always take trips, and I think this time we either went to Wisconsin Dells or Florida. Cause we would those were like the two places we would always go: Wisconsin Dells or Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Florida, and it was like the whole family: me, my aunt, my uncle, my mom, my sisters. I got two sisters. My granny. So it was like 7 or 8 of us, and I have a big family. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a big family. A lot of us like we're kind of, I wouldn't say overweight, but we kind of big. So my dad, him being on the jet ski, and he's over 200 pounds, connected with, on the jet ski with like my mom and my granny, who are both like over 180, made too much weight. And so I didn't personally fall off the jet ski, but my mom and my granny did, and my uncle and my aunt did. So
I like how you had to preface. I didn't fall
exactly.
off the jet ski. Everybody else did though. They didn't know what they was
Exactly.
doing.
But they fell off, and my mom, she got freaked out. We got back home, and my mom found a learn to swim program like across the like down the street from my school, and she signed me up. She signed all three of us up. Me and my little sister were the only ones that stuck with it. My older sister, she was like, I'm in like seventh grade, so like I'm not gonna do this. But we were the only ones that stuck with it. After my sister's first meet, after like I think about maybe 3 or 4 months, me and my sister joined the swim team. And then after my sister's first meet, she was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this." And then I just stuck with it, and like, yeah, I just stuck with it, and I never really told anybody that I liked swimming until like probably like eighth grade. Cause I'm gonna tell you a funny story.
Wait, so
We in
hold
eighth
on.
grade,
It's also in middle school too. Like you got trying to explain to people, oh, I don't like swimming. If everybody else doesn't think it's cool, like whatever is hot
yeah,
at the time is what you're gonna say. Oh, I love doing that. It's still that middle
right.
school mindset. But I'm sorry. Yeah, the story about eighth grade. Fast forward to eighth grade with swimming.
Eighth grade, we had a trip. Not so much a trip, but a boat ride. And all my friends, they had never been on a boat because they black. But anyway, they never been on a boat.
they've been on the boat before. It's
Yeah,
ancestral. It's ancestral.
I don't know if they've been on a boat before because when we got on the because right before we got on the boat, we was waiting for the boat to pull up. Everybody was coming up to me left and right, talking about some, yo, just in case this boat flip over, you can save us, right? I'm like, what? Look, just teach us how to swim real quick. Just teach us how to swim outside of the water, just in case. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, ain't nothing about to happen. There's lifeguards on the boat if something do happen. They like, look, man. You swim. Just teach us how to swim. I'm like, okay. So I'm just teaching them how to swim, and then that's when everybody like, cool, Phil, you can hang out with us. I'm like, what?
Man, that's too much pressure for me. If I've had that same thing happen with like people pressuring you because, oh, you can swim, you're on the swim team, save us. And it's like, just because someone knows how to swim and has been
Right.
doing it for a certain amount of time doesn't mean that they've had the training or like that level of like knowledge to be able to save someone. Because you got to think about it too. If someone's drowning, there's a certain level of there's a technique to it. Because everyone's
Yeah.
first instinct to
It's a
when
panic.
is to panic. So you'll often see people who are drowning and the lifeguard comes to get them. They'll try and like push the lifeguard down and like get on top of them. And then there's been cases they end up drowning both people because because the person doesn't know how to save them. And then it's people's first instinct when they're drowning is that I need to get up, and they're pushing the person down. And then both people drown. It's
I don't
like,
know if you've ever. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
but you need that level of like training and like understanding in order to save people like that. Your
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. I wonder. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I remember like watching the video of lifeguarding, and I think I was watching like the Coast Guard, and I remember they said like if they get them, if they like jump on your back and like they're like freaked out and they're panicking, just like elbow them in the face. Have you ever seen that?
No, wait, no,
No,
I
I was
have
like, it's
not.
a real thing.
They tell you
It's
to
like a
elbow
real
people in
thing.
the face.
Yeah, they're like if they get on your back and they're like freaking out and everything, you can just elbow them in the face and to try to calm them down, and then you try to talk to them and everything. Like I'm not sure. Like I'm pretty sure it's technique or whatever to it,
That's the
but I
most
remember
like
I've heard of that.
military American way like of wording that. Oh, it'll calm them down. A quick elbow to the face will calm the drowning person down.
Oh man.
Just give them a quick knockout. They'll be put to sleep, and you can save them.
Exactly.
But I've never heard of that. Definitely good to know. If you ever want to join Coast Guard, you have a legal, and you gotta save someone drowning. You now have a legal obligation to elbow
To elbow
somebody.
them in the face. Well, how
Oh.
did you get a bloody nose? Well, I got elbowed in the face by the lifeguard.
Out in the middle of the ocean, that
Right.
salt water burning your eyes.
I thought they were supposed to save you. Well, they did save me, but they also broke my nose while doing
Which
it.
I also like could not imagine like being a lifeguard in the ocean. Just
Yeah, I couldn't
because of the
either.
salt water. Which have you ever like swam in the ocean?
Yeah, yeah, many times.
When have? What were the times?
Um, shoot. We were on a boat, me and my family, because I think it was my granny's birthday,
This is the
and
second. Is this the second boat or first boat? How many times have Fio? I think you've already had a connection with the water. Your family has been on
okay,
boats many times.
okay, let's see. I'm not sure when this was honestly, but it was a while ago, and
What place?
my oh geez, I think it was Lake something. I think it was in the lake actually. It wasn't in the ocean. Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing? Wait, am I getting
No,
confused?
Fiel,
Am
no.
I getting confused?
Yes,
I'm getting confused. Okay, I apologize. I'm getting
ocean,
confused.
salt water. You open your eyes in it and it burns.
Oh,
Salt
okay.
water.
I believe I was in. We took a cruise, and
There you go.
we took a cruise. Jesus, where was I at? I want to say the Dominican Republic or
Hmm.
something like that. I want to say the Dominican Republic, and I think this was actually just a few years ago, probably in like 2019, 2018, something like that. And this is when I'm older. I think I'm in like my freshman year, or right after my freshman year. I think that summer, right after we left school,
Okay.
we took a vacation on a cruise, and I think we went to the Dominican Republic, and we all got our own jet skis. I was old enough where I was allowed to take my own jet ski out. I was allowed to rent my own jet ski, but we was like driving the jet ski, and it was so hard to see just because like water would just be popping up in your face. It's like regular water is fine, but it was salt water, so it was like literally burning my eyes. So it was like a we couldn't go outside a certain point, and I kept going outside at that point because I couldn't see where I was going.
Oh.
Right, and to the point where it was a whole bunch of people, like instructors. They was like, "We just told you not to go outside at this point." I'm like, "I can't see," but it was fun, but I would never do that again unless it's like in like not salt water, because that's just so.
Never again in the ocean. So wait, so was it around the boat? Like they had you all jet ski around the boat in like a certain area? I've never been on the cruise.
No, no. Actually, we wasn't even on a boat. We was on a beach, and there were jet skis like available to rent for the time being or whatever.
Oh.
And we were in the Dominican Republic. I believe we were in the Dominican Republic. We went to a whole bunch of places on that cruise. I forgot. But yeah, we were like in the Dominican Republic or something, and yeah, my dad said, "I think you old enough to ride your own jet skis at sea." So we did that. I was old enough, and yeah.
Man, I the only time I've been in salt water twice, and it was when we went to Myrtle Beach. Was it South Myrtle Beach, South Carolina? I think that's the state. I don't know. I should. Do not go there. Anyone's listening to this, do not go to Myrtle Beach. The hotel had shit stains on the walls. There were bed bugs. Phil, did I ever tell you the time I went to Myrtle Beach?
No, you never told me this.
I think I had to.
I think tell me this.
I think I was maybe like 9 or 10. I think my dad had to work at the time, so it was just my mom and my sister, and we were like, we were gonna visit my grandmother in Georgia because she lives out there, and we're like, oh, why don't we stop at a few places on the drive over? We took a drive like all on like the east coast of the U.S. and we went through Myrtle Beach, and we stopped there for a few days. And I think this was in June too, so it was pretty warm, and they had like fireworks going off before like July because people shoot off fireworks all through the summer.
Yeah.
But we're there in the hotel. As soon as we get to the hotel, we're like, oh, this hotel, it doesn't look like the brochure. It turns out the online website that we applied to like fill out for us to be in this hotel, had the pictures were from like 20, 30 years ago.
Yo, you know what this remind me of? You ever
Huh?
seen like those shows like where somebody will like, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of like shows and movies like that where like they'll apply for some vacation or whatever at this real fancy cabin, and they get there and they find out that the cabin was built like over 100 years ago, and that's how it looks in that picture. But when you get to it, the boards are falling off and everything, and you gotta fix everything up. Oh man.
This is like, I'm just realizing as I'm telling, this is the most cliche like 80s, 90s family movie.
Exactly.
When they travel to like a camp and there's an outhouse. Where's the toilet? There's an outhouse.
What's that?
It's like the perfect family: a mom, a dad, a daughter, and a son. An older sister, a younger son, because the older sister doesn't want to be there because she doesn't like outdoors. Then the younger son, he loves the outdoors and wants to go exploring, and then they have a dog or something.
Yeah.
Then they have, I don't know what car is it. Do you know those like, those older cars that were like the family trip vans?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like the shape of them? I don't know what they're called.
I know the shape of them. I can't think of what they call.
There's probably people listening to this that are like, they don't know what kind of car that is. That's like, it's not that old.
That's old for us. That's for
But
them 80s type folks.
It's like they would drive up, they go into the camp, it's all falling apart. We gotta clean this place up. It's not that bad. That's what the dad is always super optimistic.
Right. Oh man, that is funny.
What was back to Myrtle Beach. So we're in the family van with with the dog and everybody's there. Um, and we pull up. It's like the pictures are 30 years old. So we're like, okay, it must not be that bad. Let's look at the rooms. Our room was okay, but the walk up, people had underwear. Like, it was the most hillbilly, like, country hotel we've ever been in. These people had their towels and, like, underwear on, like, the drapes and banisters of the place as we're walking through.
I
And
got a
there's, like,
question. Did you feel uncomfortable down there?
did we feel uncomfortable? I think I was too young to have that social awareness. The only thing I was focused on at like 10 years old was like, ew. You just focus on like the physical stuff. Plus, I
Yeah.
think I was like really happy to like be with my grandmother again. So I wasn't really thinking about like the people. I don't really remember how the people were. I just remember how gross it was there. So we're walking up the stairs, and like along the walls of like the outside of the hotel, there's like shit smeared on the
Wow,
wall,
that's
and I don't know if it's because there's seagulls or where it came from, but it's everywhere. Then we go into the apartment. It wasn't clean well. The trash cans were full. It was used, and we went in there, and it's like, well, this place is it's okay. We're still trying to be optimistic because my mom and sister already poured a bunch of money into us going here.
Yeah, I know.
So you gotta pretend it's like, oh, it's not that bad.
You try
It's
to make
like
up fun stories.
it's like when people buy like $10,000 record players, and then they have to pretend that it sounds better than a $50 one that they get. Like, oh, it's better. It sounds good. It's
Not too
like,
bad.
because you just spent $50,000 on it. Of course, you gotta make it sound good.
Right. You gotta make it sound like it's actually worth $50,000.
But also, like, if you get something that expensive, I think the only thing you'd be thinking about is, man, this doesn't sound like $10,000.
I know that. Oh,
If I got
I
something that
remember.
expensive, that's all I'd be focused on. It doesn't, does it sound
I
like
remember
ten
I like had
thousand
a job.
dollars?
I remember I like had a job over there. I think it was like over the summer. I think I like had a job like over the summer, and I remember I had like all this money, and I just got my license.
Is that a
So
flex?
okay, now not a flex, but I'm just saying I had like a whole lot of money. Well, I wouldn't say it was like a whole lot of money, but for a person who's never had money before, like actual like their own money before,
Hmm.
like $600 or whatever that you get on your first check, which I believe I got like 300 some dollars on my first check. That was a whole lot of money for me because I was never used to that. So I had like $300
In the business
and
field, we call that new money.
yeah. I had like $300, and I remember there were these shoes that I wanted, and they were way out of my price range. But I remember I found them at this store that was like right around the corner from my old house in the city, and
Mm.
so I traveled down there by myself, down to the city by myself. Went to the shoe store. I saw these shoes. I was like, "Yeah, these are nice. I want these." So I bought them. It was all $330 that I had. They were like 325 plus tax, made it like 330. So I bought it
Woo!
with all the money that I had. Bought the shoes. I got home. I tried them on, right? And I'm like, "Yeah." 2 days after walking in them, the sole started ripping.
Oh.
And I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, what's going on? So I'm just continually walking, and I don't know if you ever heard this term before, but whenever like the sole is like ripping, they would like say that your shoes is talking.
Was it in the
So
front or the back?
it was in the front.
I kid you. I'm sorry to cut off your story, but I kid you not. I know that term too well. I think when I was younger, I did not want to replace my shoes at all. I would have the same exact pair of like outside shoes that I would wear everywhere. I go to school with them. Unless it was like a special occasion, I wore the same pair of shoes. So
Oh
literally
wow.
the front soles would be would be open, and like the whole bottom part would be like rubbed off. There wouldn't be any like heel anymore. And my dad was like, Shane, why are you wearing shoes that are talking? Your shoes talk. You gotta get some new shoes. I'm like, these pair, they're comfortable. Man, dark times. But sorry, you got 300 pairs of
But
shoes.
$300 shoes. Get home 2 days later. I'm walking in them. I go to work the next day in the shoes. Why I did that? Because I was like doing maintenance, which is just cleaning the store up. Which I didn't get the shoes dirty, but I definitely did get the shoes wet because water kept falling on them. But I wore them to work the day after that. And while I'm walking outside with them, as soon as I get off work, I'm walking to my house. Well, I'm walking like up the driveway to the house, and they just started ripping. I get in the house, I immediately take them off, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, "What just happened?" Like, I did not do anything. And so I like and so I tried to like snap them back together, and I used like super glue and everything to try to snap them back together. I come outside the next day. I didn't have work that day, and they immediately popped open. I was like, "This is some bull crap. I'm trying to return these." And so I went back to the store the day after that.
What did they
They
say
like,
when you
"Yeah,
brought
no
them back?
refunds." They like, "Yeah, no refunds." I'm like, "What you mean no refunds? This is a ripoff. I spent $330 for these shoes."
To be fair, if I'm working at Foot Locker, I don't know if it was I'm assuming Foot Locker or something.
No, it was not a Foot Locker. It was a corner store basically.
Oh no. See that there's
So
details out of the story, Fia. What corner store?
so
Where
it
did you
wasn't
get these
okay.
shoes?
Well, okay. That's kind of weird. It wasn't like really a corner store, but it was yeah. So like around the corner from like my old house, there was like this block full of like I guess you say sweatshops or whatever. And so I went into one of the shops that we used to always go to get my shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought the shoes. Like the next week was like when I returned them, and they was like, "Yeah, there's no refund." And I'm like, "But why though? Like there should be refunds. Like this is a ripoff." And they was like, "Yeah, there's no refund. That's your fault."
A part of me is like they pre-cut the shoes. They
I
won't
feel like so
notice.
too. I thought those were like brand new shoes though. I'm thinking like I'm like they're all wrapped up and stuff. You ever seen like the shoes that's all wrapped up and so you think those look real nice?
Mm-hmm.
And so they all wrapped up and stuff and I get them so I have to like unwrap them like out of this wrap. And so I'm thinking they like brand new, but come to find out that they was already worn like 3, 4 times by another person. Like,
You didn't check. There's too many like red flags here. Did you check the bottom of the shoes and see if they were dirty or anything?
look, yeah, and they were clean, but that's the thing about it. Like I'm guessing like they just had like this. They just cleaned the shoes really, really well, and so they look really, really clean. I ain't seen nothing on them, and they look real clean. And so I'm thinking, yeah, these are like brand new, but come to find out that they were not. So, but I was young and dumb. That's when you
Man.
have money and you don't know what to do, so you just ball out.
Well, it was your first check, man. You gotta give
Yeah,
yourself some credit. It was your first check.
I think the first time I had a girlfriend, she played basketball at my school, and she was my first girlfriend, and she asked for a Gatorade, and I had a few dollars, But I refused to buy her a Gatorade just because I didn't want to spend my money, and that's how we broke up. And like to this day, my family will not let me live that moment down. She was like, my family is like, you couldn't buy the girl a dang on a Gatorade for like $2 at Walgreens. I'm like, I'm not spending my money. I'm cheap. I'm not doing that.
Okay, those are two different stories on completely different ends of the spectrum. Come on, man. Well, it depends because you said those are your only $2.
Yeah, I had like a few. I had like maybe $3 left.
Well, also, how old were you? That's your first like relationship then?
Probably like sixth grade.
That's different. Now that's real
Which,
different. I don't know why you
which
still getting hate for that. Fifth grade,
sixth grade.
sixth.
Which
Now that makes
ain't
it
no
even.
difference, but
That proves my point even more because you're in middle school. You haven't developed into a good human being yet.
yeah, I wouldn't even really count that as a relationship, but whatever.
Your first experience.
Exactly.
The problem is if you're doing that in middle school, you're wasting money. That's not gonna last forever. So, I kid you not. I'm pretty sure. I think I was in a quote relationship in seventh grade, and I got the girl I was talking to a necklace. I think it was a blue sapphire like heart necklace. I think it probably was like $15, 10. It wasn't that much, but I got it, and to this day, yeah, to this day, we don't talk anymore. But I still see her like post, and she still has it around. She still has it from like 6 years ago.
Wow.
I'm like, you
And
know
y'all
what?
don't talk?
Huh?
And y'all don't talk?
No, I have not talked to her since maybe I don't know 3 years ago, since like before
Have you ever like
freshman
tried
year.
to like DM her or anything?
Huh?
Have you ever like tried to DM her or something?
It's weird. Fiel, unbeknownst to you, I didn't have a good reputation in middle school. I don't think anybody did. But literally, the moment when I switched schools and went to you all school, I completely like disassociated myself with everyone. To the point where people I used to go to school with thought I was dead because I moved and I didn't let anybody know what I was doing.
Oh wow, you did
But,
that type of thing.
Yeah.
You went off the grid.
I went off the grid, but now it's like people are like seeing me do stuff now. It's like, oh hey, and I'm saying sorry to people over like petty stuff because there's still things that keep me up at night that's cringy that I did, and it's not even like big things. It's like cringy middle school stuff. Whatever, however you define cringy middle school stuff, that's exactly what it is. But nah, I haven't talked to her at all. Maybe I should. Maybe you've inspired me, Phil. Maybe I should apologize. I don't know.
Well, let me see. I remember one one girlfriend that I had. We broke up. I ain't gonna share that story. That's too much. But we broke up, and a few years after, I think the next year we graduated. I think this is in seventh grade. We graduated in eighth grade, and we used to talk because I did the play and she did dance.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked through like that, and we had like talked about getting back together. It never happened though. But then, yeah, we never talked like ever since then. And I tried to like DM her like a few months ago. She's never responded back.
I don't know. It's maybe, but I also feel like it's in the past and people have gotten over things, and it's like it's been so long since then. It's like, what's the point of bringing up old ideas?
Yeah.
That it's like it's over with. People are already over it. Unless it was something that I genuinely like did wrong or felt guilty for. I would, it's in the past.
Okay.
I think it once again. I think it depends on the situation of what it was. Like, some people, yeah. Like I knew this one kid, or in sixth grade, who he fought like a girl.
Oh my god.
And it's like, which I should give context to the story. You know, in like when you were in younger, did you have to like line up in single file? Is that like an all
Yeah,
school thing, or is it just okay?
that's all schools.
Which I hate that, by the way. It's like you're making really. We can't even
Yeah.
walk to our own class. You're gonna make us like sheep, like
We
cattle.
used to have bathroom breaks as a whole class. Like we would all have to line up outside the bathroom to go in. I hated that.
That's so. Now that I'm really think why, as a
And,
class,
and
people.
then we would get like 3 seconds at the water fountain. Then my teacher would just be at the water fountain. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're done. Get in line. I'm like,
Oh, I
I
hated
only got
it.
3 seconds. I
Oh,
barely got any water. I got one sip of water. Let me get another sip.
Theo, you've resurfaced some buried memories by saying that. The 3 second water.
3 second water break. I'm like, are you serious?
Oh my gosh, dude. Come on. Come on, everybody. Single file. 3 seconds. My teacher wouldn't even
No, what's
count.
crazy is that my school was so messed up. They used to make us do that all the way until like 6th grade.
That's extreme.
I think we were like in 6th grade, still taking 3 second water breaks, and I'm like, "Are you serious? Like,
What?
come on now."
I, I think it stopped. I think fourth grade is when it stopped for me. Like, third grade was the last year, and then fourth grade was the first year of not having to do that. But it's like, really? Sixth grade? You're having, what? What is sixth grade? Like 10, 11? Or 11, 12? Something like that.
Yeah, something around there.
Like preteen? You're having preteens still count for the amount of time? Like, I was able to go to the bathroom and be like, oh, do you have a pass? Yeah, you can go. And I think in like some European or in the UK, you don't even have to ask to go to the bathroom. You can just go.
I wish that was the case. I got in trouble once because I had to go to the bathroom, and my teacher would not let me go to the bathroom. And I felt that it was in my own right to go to the bathroom. So I felt like if my teacher is not going to let me go to the bathroom, and I could potentially use it on myself, I have the right to just walk out of the classroom. That's what I did. Come to find out, I didn't have that right, and that didn't work out so well for me. I got home, my mama found out, and that was a horrible memory.
Because I think my mom had the opposite philosophy, and it's only. Oh, should I even share this? Gosh, okay, whatever. This happened in. I think this was in. I was either 6 or 7, and I was going to this like I had like this daycare like art class thing, and there's one time I had to go to the bathroom, but of course it was after as a class we did. She would like go to like around the class. Who has to go to the bathroom, and then take that group and go. Like that's how it was done. She wouldn't take the whole class. But then she'd come back, and then I'd say, no, I don't have to go to the bathroom because I didn't then. But then 5 minutes later, right afterward, I did. So then she comes to me, it's like, well, Shane, why didn't you go to the bathroom when I asked everybody 5 minutes ago? And I said, I don't know, because I'm 7. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but I was
believe
like,
you said that.
I don't know. And she's like, well, now you have to wait till the end of the day. I think there was like 30 minutes left before we like the daycare was over, and it's like, what? I have to wait 30 minutes? So of course, like finally, it's like I'm at like 99, 98 about to about to go, dude. It's almost too late at this point. So I run up to her, I'm like, please, can I go to the bathroom? And she's like, oh, finally. So she took me, I run to the bathroom, and right as I'm about to use the bathroom, it's too late.
No.
It's too late,
Wow.
Fiel.
No.
It's too late.
Wow.
In front, do you not know how embarrassed and like upset I was? So, I have to do the walk of shame out. I have to do the walk of shame out. I don't remember her face, but she was like, oh no.
Wow.
It was instant regret. So I'm like stuck there. So I remember this is a really gross experience, and if you all are screaming and don't want to listen to this, then you can skip ahead. But they take me to this like office space, and there's nothing to dry it off with. So this is so gross, dude. I don't even think I told my mom this story. She only knows the other half. They take me into this room, and they don't have anything to dry it out, but they have hair dryers.
Oh my lord.
So,
oh god.
So this is a burned memory of like of one of the teachers blow drying my hair drying my pants. Oh gosh! And then my mom comes home to the daycare and she's like, "This is unacceptable. How could you all not let a 7-year-old go to the bathroom?" And of course the teacher's like, "I am so sorry for doing that." But yikes, not good. Pure example of just if a kid says they gotta go to the bathroom, let them go.
Exactly.
Don't have them be publicly humiliated in front of other kids.
Oh man, 7 and you was what, 7 years old? You said.
I think so. Yeah. It was almost still young enough to be for it to be okay, but almost too old for it not to be. It's just in that right fine line. But Jesus.
Wow, that's messed up.
But unless you have anything else to add on that note, I think we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up.
No, I think that's it. That's it.
Thank you all for listening to the Quirky Dorks podcast. I'm Shane Edwards.
I'm Theo Wilson.
And see you on the next episode.